And Wing, if you want to go ahead and share the slides, and I'm putting in the link to this meeting event. That has all of our meeting materials for tonight in that link, since there's already some chat about the link in the chat. Okay, well, welcome everyone. Actually, there's a couple more people in the waiting room. Sorry. Okay. Welcome everyone to the Sustainability and Climate Commission Bylaws Committee meeting. I'm Elaine Visca Livingstone. I use she, they pronouns, and I am the Sustainability and Climate Commission Coordinator. Thank you everyone for your flexibility tonight as we've had to delay the meeting due to lack of quorum. And thank you everyone for, I know many of us are balancing roles, so going to back-to-back meeting for at least a few of us tonight. So thank you everyone for finding time to be in this committee. You can go ahead and next slide, Wing. So our agenda has changed. We started our meeting right before 7:05. So we are going to do the first half of our meeting agenda tonight. So we'll start with our meeting introduction and reminders. We'll have time for public comment. We'll do a briefing of this committee overview and expectations of being a committee member. And then we will elect committee leadership. We will also do the last item, which is the commissioner feedback form, which has already been emailed to commissioners. So everything before the break, and then the last item on our agenda. Next slide, Wing. So meeting introductions and reminders. Go ahead, next slide. This meeting is being recorded via Zoom and will be posted online for transparency. Commissioners must raise their hand via Zoom to speak, and a facilitator, which for tonight is me, will call on you. State your name, your title, and your pronouns every time you speak. For public comment, the individuals will be called upon by the facilitator during the public comment agenda time. All of the meeting materials are posted on this meeting's event page. That's the website to go to all the events, and then you'll click on the event for tonight on November 12th. And for any tech help, the commissioners can chat and ask Wing, who is supporting our meeting. Wing, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear okay?
Yes.
Sorry, my screen view is hidden a bit. Hi, everyone. Wayne Grabowski. I work for the city at the Bureau of Planning and Sustainability. You've seen me in other SCC meetings so far, supporting tech. My role at BPS is to support community and partner engagement for all of our programs, and I'm very happy to be deployed to support SCC as well. And I use he or they pronouns.
Thank you, Wing. And you can go to the next slide. So we're also going to do a round of commissioner introductions for those of you who were able to attend tonight. So we've done this a few times already. Raise your hand to introduce yourself. Please give your full name, your pronouns, your role, if you're a commissioner or an alternate, your district, and then briefly why you chose to serve on the bylaws committee. I want to highlight this note of we've been having you all with your name have commissioner or alternate. As part of our feedback form, we were hearing it's difficult for people to see each other's names. So if you could also take this moment to shorten your Zoom name to either say COMM or alt if you're a commissioner or an alternate. And we'll go ahead and get started with introductions with Commissioner Gonzalez.
Hello, My name is Luna Gonzalez Gonzalez. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a commissioner representing the D4 district. It's important to me to be on the bylaws committee, just to set some norms for how we work together and try to make sure that the youth that serve on the commission are supported by whatever bylaws we create.
Thank you. Commissioner Matsuri.
Hi, my name is Damon Mottstory. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm one of the District 1 commissioners on the SEC. I really love just policy and like figuring out how things are structured, and like just having clarity around that is like very soothing for my brain. And it's like nice to kind of like work on those kinds of things and be like, let's try to like make things easier for people and give them good guidance about how to like what's going to happen and when. And I think that's a like it's a form of community care.
Commissioner Trayphone.
Hi, Dan, he, him, D3. Yeah, I was just interested in like kind of helping shape, another part of our mission and being just I do echo that like the clarity piece as well. I think it's so nice and so important.
Thank you. Commissioner Gamero Georgeson. Oh, you're still muted.
Okay. Sometimes I don't press the button hard enough. Hi everyone, Commissioner Jose Gamero Georgeson, he, him, el pronouns, District 1. I think that a good set of bylaws is what makes a space accessible to everyone. You should be able to look at rules and bylaws and know exactly what you need to do to interact properly with a space. And I love it so much that I have been on rules and bylaws committees at every level in almost any organization. I've even consulted with the city government, so I look at rules a lot.
Thank you. Commissioner Taylor.
Can you guys hear me? Okay, my name's Issa Taylor. I'm a commissioner for District 4. I go by he, him pronouns. And I joined the Bylaws Committee just because I want to contribute to making this commission like the most efficient it can be so we can get the most amount of work done.
And Commissioner Ruiz.
Hi guys, Commissioner Ruiz, District 1 in Portland. I wanted to be on the bylaws committee because I want us to have a good structure for the entire group and just so everything goes smoothly.
Thank you all. Wing, if you can go ahead and share the slide deck again. Okay, we can go to the next slide. So these are some working agreements we've been using thus far, the full commission meeting. Could I have one commissioner volunteer to read all the bolded sections of all 5 working agreements? Commissioner Gonzalez Gonzalez.
This is Commissioner Gonzalez Gonzalez, she, her. 1, listen to understand, not to respond. 2, wait. 3, assume good intentions but attend to impact. 4, be willing to make mistakes and be forgiving of those who do. 5, allow for and appreciate disagreement of opinions, ideas, methods respectfully.
Thank you. Any questions about working agreements before we move on? Okay, next slide, please. Public comment. We do have a couple members of the public attending, but no one that signed up for public comment. So we'll go ahead to the next slide. So I will give our briefing of our committee overview and expectations. These are all of the commissioners that are members of the bylaw committee. Obviously, not everyone could attend our first meeting, which we were expecting. But just so that we can see all of our names on one slide that make up the bylaws committee, I do want to note that we did have alternate Holland Bird had to step down because of scheduling conflict. So with this 9 commissioners and 1 alternate, our number for quorum is 5 commissioners. Next slide, please. So this should be repeat information for you all from the full commission meeting and the bylaws committee proposal. So the purpose of this bylaws committee is to take a bylaws proposal from city staff that is drafted from Portland City Code, state law, and other administrative rules of the city, and commissioner input from one-on-one meetings. And this is an opportunity for commissioners to define your own way of conducting itself. The membership for the committee has to be at least 5 commissioners, no more than 10, which you see we fulfill. And our meetings will be online, required to be on Zoom, recorded and posted, of course, subject to all public meeting laws. And we meet once per month, second Wednesdays from 6 to 8 p.m. As you can see, we have to meet quorum in order to have meetings. Next slide, please. As a committee, you must elect committee leadership, which we're hoping to do tonight, hold work sessions to amend proposed bylaws, and have work session topics for the commission bylaws, including purpose, members and terms, processes for powers and duties, procedures and meetings, commission leadership, and relationships to the chief sustainability officer and other relevant city staff. You as a committee will provide regular updates to the full commission. And once we go through draft iterations of the bylaws, which we'll also be talking about as part of this briefing, you will bring your finalized bylaws draft to the full commission for consideration and adoption. Next slide, please. So city staff roles. The chief sustainability officer sets committee agendas, and all bylaws are subject to chief sustainability officer review and approval. Our city attorney, Maya Hyam, bylaws are subject to legal review and approval and advice. A little preview of the bylaws draft that was posted as part of the meeting, which we won't get to as part of our agenda. We are actually going to be changing our initial draft based off of city attorney advice we got today. That's all related to the shifting of advisory bodies within the city. So we'll talk about that more, but just a little preview of what our city attorney, what role she plays, and that we're meeting with her, if not monthly, multiple times a month on the city staff side. And then myself, your Sustainability and Climate Commission coordinator. I'm compiling all of our bylaw drafts and facilitating our first bylaws committee meeting and posting materials for our bylaws committees and coordinating on the staff side and with commissioners. Next slide, please. So quorum and participation. Commissioners must confirm attendance to ensure quorum, which we've been doing for full commission meetings and we did for this meeting. Quorum, again, is 5 of us commissioners, of you commissioners. And we do expect active participation in discussion and review. That is both in how you can interact. That can be before meetings, that can be in meetings, it can be a combination as we go through time. And alternate or proxy voting is not permitted. So I'm going to pause there in this part of our briefing before we talk about draft reviewing of the bylaws. we've really talked about the framework of this committee for any questions or discussion about the bylaws committee. Commissioner Gonzalez.
Commissioner Gonzalez, she, her. I'm wondering, is there a specific, I guess, deadline for when we're supposed to have a certain, like, a draft of the bylaws to present in an SEC meeting?
Yes, so our second part of our agenda tonight, and you can go see the slides, we did have a proposed timeline of, we're hoping that you all will have a finalized bylaws draft to give to the full commission by March. So that will all depend on your working cadence of how much you all are contributing to drafts prior to meetings, how working in meetings goes, because we only meet once monthly. So to approve amendments, we have to see how that working cadence has. We hope it by March. Commissioner Taylor.
Commissioner Taylor, he, him. I was wondering, what exactly would proxy voting look like? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, so that proxy voting, I mean, it can look in a lot of different ways. What we mean by proxy voting is you couldn't say to Commissioner Mott's story of like, hey, I want to vote this way on this proposal that we're seeing, but I can't make it to the meeting. Can you vote for me that way? Or asking one of our alternates, alternate Wong, also can't vote for you. So if you're not at the meeting, you don't have a vote in amendments. You can propose amendments and not come to the meeting, and those can be part of like will be a part of an all up draft, which we'll get to in the next few slides. But if you don't attend a meeting, you don't get to vote, is what we mean by no proxy voting is permitted.
All right. Thank you.
Yes. Any other questions or discussion? Okay, we'll go on to the next slide. And these next few slides are about how we expect us to be working on bylaws before meetings, during meetings. How are we going to go through iterations of drafts of the bylaws to get to our finalized drafts? So the first thing that we will do is the staff will send out draft materials to you as committee members for review. So this will happen at least a week prior to when we expect the drafts. And to fulfill public meeting law, we would need any amendments of drafts by the Monday, the week before the meeting. So you guys had a little preview of that with the working agreements where we've sent out the Word documents in a PDF for you all to give amendments to us. I'm going to have Wing go ahead and share their screen and show what we mean by using track changes and comments for edits and feedback that are outside of meetings. Now, doing amendments outside of meetings is not a requirement. The nice part about doing amendments outside of the meeting is that our all up draft is prepared for the meeting. So what that means, if you could put a pin in that, I'll explain some more, but let's show what we mean by track changes. So we're going to show in Word doc. Again, we'll send you a Word document or a PDF. There's different ways you can do track changes in different softwares. We're going to show you in Word document that you're going into the review tab and then you're turning on your track changes so that you're in reviewing mode. So it says reviewing up in the right-hand corner, and then you can see when Wing decides to delete or type something that it's tracking the changes that they're making. Oh, it's not doing it. It's not working. Wing. It's not working. It says you're in reviewing mode, so it should be working.
That is so weird. There. Can you see it now? I think I'm getting some lag on my internet connection. Oh yeah, no, you're right. It's not actually showing the tracking. That's
It's not.
interesting. Show markup.
Do you want me to show? Excuse me, show on mine.
There.
Aha, there we go.
Pretend we're doing it now.
Yes, we're doing it now. And also on the review tab in Word document, you can make comments. So you can see in this draft of our bylaws, we already have comments from a city staff person named Ashley Chodgen. This is the person who made the template in 2019, and that's their comments. So the cadence of work prior to meetings, again, is staff will be sending out bylaw draft sections for you all to review. We'll give them to at least you a week before the deadline, which will be the Monday, the week before the meetings. We'll always tell you what date that is. And if you're able to make amendments or give any feedback prior to meetings, that's the way to do it. Then we'll post as part of the meeting materials all of your individual drafts and amendments and feedbacks, and then also a collective all up draft, which we can do live amendments during the meeting. So Wing, when you're ready to go back to the PowerPoint. So yes, we'll send you out the draft materials. We showed you track changes and comments. You send us the edited drafts by the deadline, which is the Monday, the week before each meeting. We'll be posting your individual edits and the compiled all up draft 1 week prior to the meeting, and then additional amendments can be made during the meeting. So next slide, Wing. During the meeting, we will display the all up draft version from all the amendments that were made or feedback given prior to the meeting. And this is where we'll do live review and editing, which we started to do at the full commission meeting on the working agreements last month. When you want to give a live amendment to be copied up and copied into our all up draft version, we ask that you commissioners type your live amendments into the chat so that staff, which is Wing and myself, can copy this into the all up draft. That way we're not trying to make sure we're not misunderstanding you. We're copying and pasting from the chat. When you guys have done discussion of amendments and you want to move to vote to approve amendments, a proposal must be made to move to voting. And it must clearly specify what text is being considered to be voted on. So a proposal for voting may be a specific amendment, or it may be many amendments under one vote. So for example, there was some discussion at the last full commission meeting of changing the name of working agreements. That could have been a case where a proposal was made to move that to a vote to rename the working agreements to a different name, and that could have been voted on separately. Or amendments can be made for a whole section. You all can discuss, get the amendments to where you all like them, and then make a proposal to vote to approve all of those amendments in one batch. Or it can be a mix of both of those things. And then our proposals that are moved for voting are approved through modified consensus, which is the voting that you have used thus far, other than for leadership elections for the full commission. And we'll also do a vote to a proposal using modified consensus today. Can you go to the next slide, Wing? Okay, I'm going to stop there before we go on to after meetings. Up to before meetings, during meetings, are there any questions or discussion or any ideas that maybe make this simpler to you all? We're open to feedback. Okay, I'm not seeing any hands. So going on to draft iterations. So this is going to be happening through several different meetings as you work through different sections of the bylaws. So staff will maintain master draft as amendments are adopted. The Chief Sustainability Officer will continuously review adopted amendments for approval and with consulting the city attorney. And the staff may provide any additional feedback or amendments through draft iterations. I want to again name here that the draft bylaws that were posted for this meeting, we just today got advice of using a different template. And as you all got training from Julia Meyer on our form of government and the role of advisory bodies, a lot of those things are changing. So we'll have to be adaptive as we're giving new advice as things are becoming new for our entire city. All meeting materials and drafts will be posted publicly, and the finalized draft will be presented to full commission, again, hopefully by March, for final bylaws adopting, and it could go through draft iteration at the full commission as well. Any questions there? Okay, we will go to our next agenda item, and that is to elect leadership. Tonight, we have a proposal for what our leadership should look like at committee. If that proposal does not pass, we will do a time check and may move into elections like we did at full commission, or end the meeting, or the proposal may pass and we'll go to our commissioner duties. So just give you a little peek of what's coming. Next slide, Wing. So we would like the bylaws committee to vote on this committee leadership proposal. Staff is proposing that the commission co-chairs that were selected for the full commission serve as committee leadership. Our reasoning behind that is that this committee is interim, and we want to ensure timely coordination and progress as this commission is new and we are still figuring out all our processes. And then this third very real bullet is staff capacity. And I want to be frank with you all as commissioners that commissions of this size historically at the city have been managed by 3 full-time staff, and even then commission or staff said that they needed more staff time, that 3 full-time people was not enough support. Our staffing for this commission is myself as 1 full-time person, and any time that I can borrow from Wing and Ingrid Fish, who you see in meetings. So that's another reason behind this proposal. So it'll be 2 co-chairs, very similar to the full commission, who share and divide responsibilities and tasks. They'll attend monthly executive sessions with Vivian, the Chief Sustainability Officer, and myself as the commission coordinator. They provide strategic support, help set priorities, and assist in agenda setting. And then they will facilitate committee meetings and oversee voting processes. And they will report on committee progress to the full commission. And their duration will be interim until the committee disbands. So the committee is disbanding when the bylaws are adopted. Our next slide is the voting procedures for this proposal. Are there any questions or discussion about this proposal? And to be clear, if this proposal passes, our bylaws committee co-chairs will be Commissioner Taylor and Commissioner Gamero Georgeson. I'm not hearing any questions or discussion, so we'll go ahead and move on to voting. Wing, if you want to go to the next slide. So as the facilitator, I'm calling the vote on the proposal that was outlined on the previous slide and is also a document as our meeting materials on this event page. And we'll call a vote. Commissioners, your option are affirmative, stand aside, or no. For the item to pass is equal or greater to simple majority, and so that is three. How many do we have? 6 of you, so it would be 4. 6 commissioners, correct? Wing, can you double check my math on that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is correct. 6.
Yes. Okay. When you're ready to vote, go ahead and raise your hand. Commissioner Trifone.
Dan, he, him, affirmative.
Affirmative. Commissioner Matsutori.
Affirmative.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Affirmative.
Commissioner Gamero Georgeson.
Affirmative.
Commissioner Ruiz.
Affirmative.
And Commissioner Taylor.
Affirmative.
Great, this proposal has passed. Looking at our time, we actually do have time to fit in another agenda item before ending the meeting. So Wing, could you take us to slide 24? We'll talk about timeline and next steps. Well, actually, let me pause and say congratulations to Commissioner Taylor and Commissioner Gamero Georgeson on being our co-chairs for the Bylaws Committee. Commissioner Matsutori, is that a new hand?
It is a new hand. I'm Damon Matsutori, Commissioner for District 1. I just, wanted to say very briefly that I assume that you all were willing to take on this extra responsibility as co-chairs, and I really appreciate it. Just wanted to say a note of gratitude for that. Thanks for stepping up.
Yes, thank you. Commissioner Ruiz, is that a legacy hand or is that a new hand?
No, my bad. I didn't know how to take it down.
No worries. Chairs, do you want to say anything before we move on so quickly? No pressure. Yeah, Commissioner Gamero Georgeson.
I will say, yes, we were asked if we would be willing to do this ahead of time, so it was not just sprung on us. The amount of money we have and the amount of staff we have is a real concern, and we want to do anything we can to alleviate that from our staff because they already do so much. So I'm more than happy to step up in any way I can to help that.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, to reintroduce myself, Elaine Visca Livingstone, she, they pronouns. I'm the Sustainability and Climate Commission Coordinator. And I will give our next briefing on our timeline and next steps as the Bylaws Committee. Next slide, Wing. So our timeline thus far from October to November was confirming our committee and its membership, scheduling our regular monthly committee meetings. We didn't get to this today of reviewing the bylaws and the existing city template, which I've already told you is changing anyways. And we did not have our discussion about identifying key sections for immediate drafting. So you can see our timeline has already changed. And we could still have this discussion question, even though we haven't reviewed the bylaws draft, of which sections for you all are most urgent or foundational to develop first. I know it's a little difficult when we haven't reviewed a bylaws draft. Commissioner Monstory.
Yeah, Damon Mott Story, District 1. I think that what feels most foundational is just the process of what do you do when something goes wrong or goes unexpected, right? Like it's just I think like speaking earlier to like the reason why I wanted to be on the bylaws committee in the first place of just like the gift that it is to give people clarity. Um, you, it's a real bummer to not have a procedure for what to do if something goes wrong while you're in the middle of dealing with what's wrong. And so, you know, when I'm reflecting on this, I think like that's one of the only reasons that that actually feels a little bit more urgent or foundational to me is just that like we have actually a lot of like very already like pre-baked in things that were a part of the city code for establishing the commission. But it's like I think very quite interesting to then figure out like I mean, for example, we had some struggles getting to quorum tonight. Like I think that shows you that like once you actually are like living and breathing the work a little bit more, like you start to encounter things where it's like, oh yeah, we need to like make sure we absolutely know what our quorum is at all sizes of committees and things like that. And then like if for some reason somebody has a life change happen in the middle of their term, like what do we do about that? And like it's and I hate to say it, but like we also have to like imagine the circumstances of having somebody who's like, you know, really kind of like disruptive and not being forthcoming about like something that might be holding them back from being able to be a commissioner in good faith. And so it's like it's just good to have some agreed upon things that help us to navigate those things once they come up.
Yes, thank you. And very real examples that we're already experiencing, and we're seeing other levels of our government experience. Commissioner Georgeson.
Agreed. Agreed with Commissioner Mastori. I will also say that from my experience, I don't know how much we'll have a hand in developing this section, but the section that gives commissions the most, I will say, grief lightly. It's just people really need to understand the power section, what the commission does, what we're expected to do, where we can actually do things, and what the city wants from us. I in past commissions get into a little bit of trouble not understanding exactly what they're tasked with. So I think really going over that section, maybe the city role and purpose section to tie it in with that helps everyone understand what their role as a commissioner is.
Yes, thank you, Chair Gamiro Georgeson. To tie both of those comments together of we do have Portland City Code outlining the powers and duties of this body, and part of bylaws is the processes behind that, the procedures behind that is a part of bylaws. Any other thoughts? on this discussion question? Okay, we'll go to the next slide. Thank you. So December to February is when we're expecting a large bulk of the drafting to occur. So as we've already discussed, staff will circulate the working drafts. This will be via email for you all to send amendments back, and then also via public posting on our event pages as part of meeting materials. You will return those edits via track changes or comments, or even you can send just an email with some thoughts by the Monday the week before the meeting. We'll discuss and revise drafts during the meetings using this all up live document that's been compiled before the meeting, and we'll continue amending during the meeting via the live chat for live incorporation. And then you all as commissioner committee members will vote to approve amendments. Our CSO reviews and approves and may provide additional feedback or edits. And our committee leadership, which is Chair Gamero Georgeson and Chair Taylor, will regularly update the full commission on progress. Any questions about this drafting period? Now, this timeline is, again, not set in stone. It's all about how the work proceeds as we find quorum for meetings, all of those things. Okay, next slide, please. So March to April is when we're expecting bylaws to be adopted by the full commission. And then the meeting proceeding after that will be election for the full commission, as you all will be defining what does full commission leadership look like and how do you all have election. So finalized bylaws will be presented to the full commission by committee leadership. There may be some draft iteration and amendments happening at the full commission meeting. Then the full commission will vote to adopt the bylaws and submit the final version to staff. And again, at the meeting after that, commission will elect new leadership following the processes that are outlined in the bylaws. Any questions or thoughts about that? Okay, next slide, please. So our last section on our agenda is a duty for you guys to do your commissioner's feedback form. So next slide, Wing. Thank you. So you all were emailed as part of the last weekly high five to fill out a feedback form about this meeting. Our next committee meeting will be on Wednesday, December 10th. So you all know our next executive session with our chairs is on December 3rd. So it'll be the week before our next bylaws committee meeting. We will be sending you a draft of bylaws to start amending. We'll tell you what section via email. So we'll give you more directions via email. And those amendments for our next meeting will be due by Monday, December 1st. And we'll post all those meeting materials after our executive session on Wednesday, December 3rd. Any questions about these next steps and reminders? Something that's not on here, we'll also ask you for quorum when that is the time to make sure we get quorum for next meeting. Well, with that, we'll go ahead and stop our recording.